We have another major level to watch for the global liquidity, and that is what we need to discuss within today's update video, because this exact level for the global liquidity could be deciding the outcome of this bull market. If the global liquidity is going to be heading higher from here, we could see a lengthened bull market. If that's not going to be the case, the Bitcoin top is getting seriously close here. So let's talk about exactly that, but not before you subscribe to the channel and watch and like my latest YouTube videos, and then we can dive in towards the most important content. Since by now we do know about this major correction for the global liquidity, which we have been extensively discussing on the channel here. Then the global liquidity started to moving higher again and is now facing this downtrending resistance line, basically creating the second lower high here. And I do think if the global liquidity could be breaking to the top side here, we could see another major expansion phase for Bitcoin also, because Bitcoin has been perfectly following the global liquidity to both the downside and to the top side. And I do think this is going to be a much more important indicator than looking into, for example, the perfect seasonality, trying to time the perfect cycle. As long as the global liquidity is going to trend much and much higher here, I do think that Bitcoin eventually is going to follow. But on the flip side, there's also going to be a probability that the global liquidity is going to see a major rejection here. And if that is going to be the case, then this is going to be the ending stage of the bull market. So we will keep discussing this important support level in the upcoming videos on the channel. So just make sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't be missing out on any of that. If we zoom in a little bit of Bitcoin, we can see that we have lost this important support line, and now we are basically heading towards this next support level, which is the top side of this previous consolidation phase. And it's going to be likely that Bitcoin is going to fall down towards that support level, maybe even grab a little bit of the liquidity below that exact support level, and from there is going to make another move higher. Because I do think in this bull market there's still one Bitcoin move left. And then if you take a look into towards the global liquidity once again, that is going to be this exact move. And of course we don't have to complete the move all the way up, but I do think because of the significance of this global liquidity move higher, we are also going to see another Bitcoin move high. That would make a lot of sense to me. And then your potential top target is going to be 135k, somewhere like that. Make sure to keep that in mind. This isn't going to be a 100% accurate prediction here because of the global liquidity. It could differ a little bit. We could top out later, we could top out sooner. Still a lot of probabilities, but on that longer time frame, the global liquidity is going to be one of your best indicators to predict where Bitcoin is going to be moving. Because I'm still expecting one last move, it would make a lot of sense that Bitcoin is eventually going to break through this second Fibonacci level, where we have seen two big rejections now from. And that's also why a lot of people are now calling this to be the Bitcoin top. But I do think for Bitcoin there could be one less move higher in the tank. Could also not be the case here, and then this is going to be the Bitcoin top. Then in the most ideal scenario, you're going to see Bitcoin consolidate under this major level, and from there altcoins and Ethereum will have a little bit more room to move to the top side. So that is going to be another scenario there. So make sure to keep exactly that in mind. This week we have the FOMC minutes report dropping, so that's going to be an important one, because I do think, basing on the language, are they going to be dovish, hawkish? We have to see about that. But if they are going to be dovish or hawkish, then it will have an effect on these rate cut expectations for September. Because now the probability of a rate cut in September is only 83%, and previously this was 99%. So this has been coming down, and that's also one of the big reasons that you have, for example, seen Ethereum falling down quite aggressively here, because the most important reason of this massive Ethereum price rally was that rate cut expectation, because Ethereum is going to be an asset which could be benefiting from rate cuts, and now is going to be benefiting from rate cuts, because more money is going to flow in towards high risk assets eventually. So that's why I do think the FOMC minutes report could be a little bit more important than normally, because if they're going to be dovish, it could be very bullish for Bitcoin and definitely for Ethereum. And we also do have the jobless data coming out on Thursday this week. So also that is going to be important for those rate cut expectations once Again, we also saw some new ETF flows yesterday, and let's take a dive into those Bitcoin flows first. Pretty negative flows for Bitcoin actually, minus 120 million US dollars, and for the Ethereum ETF we saw almost 200 million US dollars of outflows. Actually the second largest outflow ever, but if you take a look into last week, you can see how big the inflows from last week are. So if you put it in perspective, I don't think there's too much reason to be worrying about now, but let's see about this. Not something you do want to see continue over the course of the next few days, of course. Guys, if you do want to be trading with us, with me, Crypto Rover, and some other professional traders which are dropping daily setups in our Telegram channel, make sure to check out the description links on this update video. Basically, you can join our public group completely for free, or you can join our VIP group. Just make sure to check it out if you do want to be trading Bitcoin and altcoins yourself and basically learning from us, because yesterday, for example, one of our traders did make a Bitcoin short. We are trading both sides of the order books here, guys. He did make a Bitcoin short position here when Bitcoin was looking quite weak yesterday evening actually, and we did lock in quite a nice profit over there. And this is just one of many examples of the profits we have been making in this trading group. So guys, just make sure to check out the links in the description on this YouTube video. I don't think you will regret doing so. And then I do want to discuss Ethereum, because Ethereum is hunting the liquidity. I do personally think so. Ethereum has seen another big move to the downside, and the next big liquidity cluster is laying at 41,000 US dollars. I do think we have a high likelihood that we are going to take out that liquidity cluster and from there move back to the top side, because it is going to be a huge support level for Ethereum. But on the other hand, I do think the market makers do want to take out this liquidity cluster at the downside before eventually heading higher. So be aware of exactly that. It's also going to be major support for Ethereum. If you zoom out on Ethereum, I'm still very bullish. We did hit my conservative case target, so I did take a lot of profits already. I've talked about this in a lot of my previous update videos. I don't want to repeat myself every single video now, but yeah, I did take some profits there. And I do think from this conservative case to this bull case, in this period of the market, there are going to be a lot of opportunities trading altcoins basically. If you don't want to be missing out on exactly that, just make sure to also join that public Telegram group, because a lot of altcoins are being traded there. But also for spot positions, guys, this is going to be a huge period in the market, and I definitely don't think it's over yet. I'm still quite bullish, definitely on Ethereum and altcoins. Also because of the seasonality we are now trading in. The absolute ending phase of the cycle is usually the most bullish phase. And we do have a lot of fuel basically for this Ethereum rally to the top side waiting for us, because big institutions are shorting Ethereum like never before. So it seems like there's a lot of fuel for Ethereum to be moving to the top side. And once it starts moving, of course, you could be looking in towards some major short squeeze. There is going to be a high likelihood that once again Ethereum is going to start moving, because we have so many big institutional players accumulating Ethereum like their life literally depends on it, like Tom Lee is doing with Bitmine. They've bought over 5 billion US dollars in Ethereum in just 36 days. That's of course absolutely insane. But the more insane thing is they now own almost 6.6 billion dollars worth of Ethereum, because yesterday they have been accumulating even more. So that's exactly what I mean. I do think once Ethereum is going to start moving, you could see this massive liquidation event from this short, and the Ethereum price just pushing up much and much higher to, for example, this bull case target I've laid out on this chart. So guys, there's still so much reason to be bullish, actually much more than starting to turn bearish at the first pullback. And guys, remember, it's not an altcoin season yet, so there's still a lot of opportunity in the market to be accumulating, to basically be accumulating in the middle here between Bitcoin season and altcoin season, and to be selling in that full-blown altcoin season. I do still think that is coming in Q4 2025, like we have been discussing a lot on the channel, guys. So that was it for today's update video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's update video, and I will see you guys within the next update video tomorrow.